Today we are working on a bunch of project cars and I have no idea how this video is going to end up. But the first thing I want to do is diagnose why the speed sensor is not working in my 300ZX with a KA swap. I did grab the spare speed sensor out of my spare transmission, so we're going to have to diagnose that and see what's going on. I'm also going to re-verify that I connected the wires correctly, which I'm sure I did. I wouldn't mess that up. Hopefully we'll have time to install this radio. Shout out to Logan, he just hooked it up with one of these. He had one laying around. We got Nate over here installing a radio of some sort in his RSX Type S. And Tim is doing a bolt check post track day. What did we find, dude?
That one was like completely loose, like finger tight. And this side was definitely loose, so I'm glad I checked.
That one is loose too?
Yeah.
The sway bar links. He just put this beefy sway bar end links on here. He's just three-wheeling up the track. And I think he's like, it's clunking now. I don't know what's going on.
All that stress knocked it loose, but this is what ball checks are for, right?
Yeah.
So.
I decided to do the easiest thing first, which is just a visual inspection. Pulled up the harness that we have on the transmission side. Looks like I have the tealish wire with the yellow wire with a black stripe connected to the speed sensor, which is correct. I even have a speed sensor pigtail here just to verify the colors. Wires are hooked up correctly. This goes straight to the chassis harness, so all of that is connected how it should be. So before I jack the car up and go under there and look at all that, I'm going to make sure that our new speed sensor that we're using is good, instead of doing all that work and not knowing for sure if this sensor is even going to work. A couple different ways you can go about this. So the easiest way to explain this is basically a generator. This will generate AC electricity. I think it's going to be easier if I just put in this pigtail here, then I can touch the test leads here onto each end of either wire. Doesn't matter which direction. So the first thing you want to do is set this to ohms. So we're going to check resistance first. All right, I'm holding this with one hand. The camera I'm holding with my chest against my knee. And then you spin this and our reading should change from open to a random reading. Oh, see, there it goes. Just switching around there. So it passed that test. The next test you can do, this is the correct way to really diagnose this, is set this to voltage, but AC. So the way you can tell AC versus DC is a straight line and AC is squiggly. AC means alternating current. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to spin this fast enough to really get a reading here. Oh yeah, that's definitely working. Okay, so this sensor is confirmed good. At least good enough to get something. I guess the next step is going to be jacking this thing up, going under the car, and I might just swap the sensor out since we know this one's good, but I want to test the other sensor that we take out just to make sure it wasn't actually working. But meanwhile, Tim's over here. What are you doing, bro?
I dropped the hardware that I took off.
No. Into the abyss?
It's a little 8mm too, so.
Oh, yeah. It's gone.
It's gone for sure.
Weight reduction. Well, I guess not reduction, it's weight rattling.
Rate rattling.
You switching out your tails?
Yeah, because as you can see, these are not properly sealed and they have now filled up with exhaust fumes and whatnot. So.
It's got soot infested.
Yeah.
What?
It's just a Honda.
It's tinted, dude. It's free tint.
It's cool.
Oh, here's the stocks. Okay. These aren't so bad.
Yeah, they're cool.
Here is our speed sensor right there, and it's only one 10mm bolt to take it off. I couldn't get it out by hand, just by twisting it, so I'm gonna have to use some persuasion. Put the flathead up there, give it a few whacks to get it broken loose. It's moving. Pry it out just a little bit, very carefully. There we go, it's free. That was so easy. Take it out carefully. Oh, we're gonna drip fluid. Crap. Let's get this towel under there. Don't want that on the driveway. I did jack it up from the back, hoping that the fluid would be far enough forward in the transmission. And it looks like the speed sensor is also above the fill plug line, so it really shouldn't be leaking out too much fluid. But let's see how much comes out. Thank God Nissan put the notch in this trans tunnel for clearance to remove this. Or I guess it's not out yet. Let's not jinx it. Come on, you're so close. Alright, it's out. Doesn't appear to be broken in any way. Quick comparison. Yeah, I mean, they're the same thing. This one definitely looks more black on the top and obviously more crusty. We're going to clean up this mounting surface before we put the new sensor on. Get all the grease out of there, because we want to prevent any more dirt and grime from getting inside the trans. And have a good seal. New sensor going in. Perfect. New sensor is on. Let's clean up under the car and take it for a test drive. Gotta retuck this harness back in. All right, I said I would test the old sensor, so let's do that really quick. We're gonna start with testing it for ohms or resistance. Now I have them alligator clamps so I can actually use my hand to film and spin the gear manually. I guess I need to hold it with my foot now. Nothing. Whoa, another thing I'm realizing is some of the teeth are chipped off. What? That is crazy. In all my years, I've never seen teeth come off of the speed sensor. Smoothed out right here. Wonder what happened. What would cause something like that to happen? Let's check the alternating current. I will say this one's a lot harder to spin too. The other one was pretty free. I'm not getting any readings out of this either. I believe the sensor was actually bad. And I wonder if because the sensor is so difficult to spin, if that's why these teeth ended up shearing off. All right, let's go on a test drive. Gotta confirm it. Oh, is it working? It's working! And the trip is working. Yes! I've honestly been dreading driving this without racking up miles because I love when cars have high mileage. Plus, I datalog all of my repairs, so like it's hard to track your mileage and your intervals if you don't have an accurate reading of your odometer. For example, the easiest thing to track is your oil changes. It should be around every 3,000 miles. And how am I gonna track that if it doesn't work? But it does. What a relief. I can't believe it was just the sensor. That was such an easy fix. I hope you guys learned a thing or two about how speed sensors work. I think the next thing I want to do is make sure that I can get the oil pressure gauge to work. It's got an actual gauge on here. That's pretty nifty. I don't know if that's actually going to be accurate. I'm pretty sure it's just like an on-off switch, but it would still be cool if it works regardless, you know what I mean? One more gauge. One more piece to the puzzle. One more check mark. So satisfying. It's so funny pulling up to this house. Such a nice spread of cars. This thing is so quiet.
That's what we were just talking about.
How's your radio install going?
Pretty much done on the last wire here.
Nice, nice. Tim, how's your taillights doing?
Just about done, sir. Just dialing in, fitting it, and getting all the bulbs in.
This looks fun.
I did fix the bumper a little bit. My bumper bracket was like completely destroyed.
Is it sagging a little bit?
Rotted stud, and like the bracket was completely off center. So, sugoi mas.
It looks straight to me.
Yeah, dude.
Good fitment.
Kind of. I mean, that's gonna get better now. I'm still working.
we'll come back in a bit. All right, let's make this oil pressure sensor work. I just kind of pushed it up here for now because I knew I was coming back to it. But this is the oil pressure sensor on the 300ZX transmission harness. And it's got this plug on there. This is a single wire sensor. Just one wire. Now the KA oil pressure sensor is between the oil filter and the alternator. Very tight window here. I think I still have the connector for my KA oil pressure switch, so if I just combine those two harnesses, ideally it should work, right? Should be a really easy one, just one wire. Oh gosh. This is all the Z stuff. This looks like KA. Yep, there it is. That guy. Just kind of go like this. And now it works. All right, we are ready for a test start. I don't really think this is gonna do anything because it's not the same sensor for this particular cluster gauge, but you know what? It's worth a shot. We're figuring things out. Oh, it works. Oh, 120 off. This thing is strong, man. Oh. And then 0 while running. Perfect. How's it going over here, Tim?
Wheels going on.
Wheels going on. That is great news.
Yep.
We got red tails.
I kind of like these.
Yeah, they're not bad. Do you guys prefer the clears or the reds?
Let me know in the comments below.
Yeah, let Tim know. Since we're on a roll with this wiring situation, let's try and make the coolant temperature gauge work and maybe even the tachometer. I don't think the tachometer or the coolant gauge are going to read correctly because technically I need to put in a VG30 sensor into the KA, I guess, head, even though this is technically part of the intake manifold. But we're still at least going to hook up the harness so that when I do have the sensor to put in, it will be correct. Same with the tachometer. This cluster is rated for a V6, so the resistors within are different from a 4-cylinder. But again, we're still going to connect it, so at least we get some type of movement. Now you're probably wondering how we're going to do that. Basically, we need to connect the KA engine harness to the VG body harness. So check it out. This is the VG30 96 model engine harness. This engine harness connects directly to, obviously, the body harness. So check it out. This is the portion that goes inside the car. Here is the rubber grommet that's from the firewall. So all of this goes in the engine bay. And these 3 connectors are inside the car. This is the ECU plug. This, I don't really know what that's for, but this looks like the dash interface plug. And I know that because it has some wire colors that I recognize. So we have blue with a black stripe, and we have yellow with a red stripe. The blue one is for the water temp, and the yellow one is for the tachometer. A good way that I remember that is the red stripe is like red line, so it's the tachometer, and the blue stripe, blue like water. You know, kind of works. Now this is an uncut harness. Now this is a cut harness. I'm sorry, I had to do it. It's just parts at this point. And luckily I have all of these spare connectors from all the junkyard cars. Unfortunately I didn't get that connector from the junkyard, so now I have this one. So basically what I need to do now is connect this KA engine harness to this VG30 body harness connector. Now yes, I am soldering this together. I know a lot of people don't like solder, but to each their own. I've never had a problem with solder. I will also mention, I've heard a lot of people say, why don't you just repin the connector? Well, if I look up the diagram, it's not going to be accurate, is it? So now if I look up the diagram, this is going to be in all the correct locations for a 300ZX. If I look up the diagram for a 240, all of these are going to be in the correct location. All I'm doing is conjoining the center. And I can just wrap it up with some of this wire covering or some tape after to make it look nice. How's it drive?
New car, who dis?
I didn't hear it clunking when you went over that little bump there.
Yeah, no, it's silent.
So. Sick. Yeah, before it was like mad clunking. You could just push down and it'd be clunk, clunk, clunk. Nice. And the red tails, it just looks like a whole different vibe now.
I do like the red tails, man. I might keep them for a good while, but I'm gonna reseal those clears, get them nice and crispy looking, and then revisit the idea.
There you go.
But yeah.
It'll get the job done for now. Now, since both of these harnesses are going to be live, I'm going to heat shrink the ends of all of them just to make sure none of them come in contact with each other or ground, or it's just not good to have exposed wires. So we're going to prevent any fires from happening and just do this now. This looks crazy as it is, but we can definitely clean this up very easily. All right, here we go. Here's our little jumper harness, 300ZX to KA24de. Let's plug it into the car and see if it works. This is another reason why I left all of these harnesses and wires and ECUs exposed down here, because I know I'm not done. So here's the KA harness. This is from the engine bay, ECU, and then the interface harness. So we plug in our brown plugs, and then we have the white plug now. This is the 300ZX body harness. Got a whole bunch of random computers on it. I really don't know what half of these do. So these are the 2 plugs that connect to the VG engine harness. So the brown plug we are not using, I don't really know what any of these do. Looks like OBD2 stuff. Looks like that. Usually a gray wire like that is O2. It's just my guess. I don't actually know for sure. and then plug these in. Pretty satisfying. I think it's really awesome that there are no wires cut. A completely uncut, unconverted KA harness and a completely uncut 300ZX body harness. All you need is a little jumper harness in between. Or if you want to repin it, do it that way. But let's see if it works. So we're due for a test drive. I love test drives. It's my favorite thing. Gus, we got to close the hood first though. Yo, no way. The tachometer works. It honestly looks like the temperature gauge works as well. Man, that's so cool. Okay, let's go around the block. Gotta get the full effect. Yeah, it doesn't look too accurate. It's reading about 1500 right now. That was probably around 2 grand on the KA. Definitely reads less than it should, which is honestly exactly what I was expecting. But the temperature gauge is working, so that's really cool. As for the oil gauge, I'm gonna need to find a VG30 oil sensor and see if that threads into the KA block. I'm just really thrilled that we have temperature and speedo. Those are definitely the most important gauges to me, at least. This man is so cute. Have we decided on a name yet? Basil. Basil? Nate doesn't look
He's an ingredient.
Yeah, it is kind of a girl name.
He's an ingredient.
It's not my tough guy.
Call him Nibbles. Ow! Little man's got a bite.
Dude, oh my god. His name's Basil, but Nate was like...
Dude.
Nate thinks his name should be Dazel.
Diesel?
Something more manly.
No, this man is not a diesel.
Diesel sounds like basil, I will say.
So I have a few thoughts on how I can potentially correct the tachometer signal. So I noticed on the 300ZX body harness, there's actually 2 yellow with a red stripe wires. Those are the tachometer wires. Are you coming to help? So I only connected one of the tach signals. The other one I left open. I'm wondering if I temporarily jump the KA signal to the other signal that is not plugged in on the VG harness, if that will make any difference. That will technically mean that these 2 wires are connected in parallel, basically meaning that each of the 2 wires are getting the same voltage, which could in turn make the tachometer work correctly. I hope that made sense. But either way, we're going to try it out and know for sure. All clear? All right. I think it reads about the same, honestly. I don't really see a change here. It's worth a shot though. If you have any ideas of how I could correct this, please let me know. I know a certified definite way to correct this is if I change the back of the cluster to a 4-cylinder tachometer. But I don't know if I want to do all of that with this car, but I may have to. Well, to celebrate all of our progress today, we're all gonna head out and get some ice cream. Got the gang behind us. Pretty cool spot, right? Never been here before.
Man, I need to redo my headlights now. That's the next day.
Headlights next?
Next mission is headlights.
Dude, this is a 6-5.
Isn't it cool?
Very nice.
This is and we're down south to where we can just park on here and
Yeah,
not get yelled at.
just on the
about it.
grass, for
Yeah.
real. Dude, that looks so cool. Everyone's soaking in this moment. 1, 2, 3. I mean, it does look pretty sick.
Are we enjoying it, or are we addicted to these devices that we call phones, dude?
That's true.
Are we living through them?
Let's put the
Make
phone.
it stop.
Put it down. Put it down. Delete it. Delete all your photos. All the cars. So, when's the last time you saw a Pac-Man?
Whoa.
Or a jukebox? What are you doing?
Just hanging around.
When mechanics have s'mores. Today is June 21st. You're probably wondering why that's so important. Not only is it Go Skate Day and the first day of summer, my personal favorite, it is the longest day of the year. So we're gonna make the most of it and go into as many skate parks as we possibly can. Driving the Z. First stop, Lyle Skate Park.
Actually, the first stop was the farmer's market.
What'd you get there?
I got a whole bunch of strawberries, really cute rings, and some little plants that look like cats.
Show me the goods.
The haul.
Yeah, hall spread. Nice strawberries, very nice.
These are literally my cats.
For real.
Personality and all. It's just crusty up there. Alright, bye Mike.
We are out of this park. On to the next one. Quick detour at the garage to pick up some specialty parts for this thing. A beaded seat cover, although we thought I had 2 in the box, but I guess I'm getting it. Now it's a real grandpa car. You want to try it out? Thoughts?
Feels so weird.
Right? Alright, next park. Ah, Indian Boundary. Yo, what? Lunch break. Got a seaweed salad mixed with a cucumber salad over here, and edamame and some tofu pad thai. Damn.
Sounds like ass, but I like it.
Right? That's such a rare sight, Midori green EK Hedge in the wild. But anyways, we just pulled up to this next skate park. It's my other stomping grounds as a kid. The last park was my favorite stomping grounds as a kid. But this one's a little more hefty. So I don't know how much we're gonna be able to accomplish here, but still gonna have fun. I'm getting too old for this, man. Alright, whatever, we'll haul it. It like went to nose manual last second.
That was crazy.
That's so sketchy. There we go. Man, look at you shredding the park. Well, our session is all done at Plaza. Let's go back to Indian. We were gonna go to other parks today, but honestly, we're not feeling like driving that far away, so back to the OG park it is. This is the best part about having stock suspension. See a speed bump, you can actually speed up. I don't think the trunk was latched. It is now. This beaded seat cover is keeping me nice and cool.
I can't get over how crusty that is.
I know, it is super crusty.
But that hatch lifts real nice with working shocks.
I know, very clutch.
Luxury.
Luxury work truck. Yo! Well, we're pretty cashed out from skating, so I think we're gonna stop the video here, but thank you guys for sticking around. Don't forget to drop a like on the video and subscribe to see more. See you guys next time. Peace.